Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a problem that is, well, just super frustrating: the empty shelf. But more importantly, we're going to look at the powerful professional framework that's designed to solve problems like this for good.
You know the feeling, right? You've checked online, it says they have it, you drive all the way there, and nothing. It's that classic moment where the digital world and the real world just don't line up. This is called an inventory mismatch, and it's a huge headache for businesses and honestly a real letdown for us as customers. So, how do you actually fix something like this? Well, here's our game plan. We'll start by really nailing down the problem. Then, I'll introduce you to an awesome tool called DMEC. We'll walk through a case study to see it in action, watch how data gets turned into a real plan, and then we'll check out the final solution that makes sure the problem stays fixed. All right, first things first, let's get super clear on what we're talking about with this inventory mismatch and why it's such a big deal. It sounds simple, but trust me, this one little error kicks off a whole chain reaction of bad things. For the store, it's a lost sale right then and there. It could mean a lost customer for life, and it just sends waves of confusion all the way back up the supply chain. Okay, so when you're facing a messy, recurring problem like this, you can't just throw ideas at it and hope something works. You need a system. You need a structured, proven toolkit to get to the root of it. And that toolkit is called DMAIC. That's DMAIC. It's a 5-step, data-driven cycle that pros use to fix almost any broken process you can think of. So let's do a quick run-through of what each of those letters stands for. First up, you define. And this means getting really, really specific. The goal isn't just, let's get better at inventory. No. A good goal is something like, we will reduce the mismatch for this specific item to less than 1% within 3 months. See? It's clear, it's focused, and it stops the team from getting distracted. Next, you measure. Because you absolutely cannot improve what you don't measure. This is all about getting the facts, gathering the raw data. You have to know how bad the problem actually is before you can start fixing it. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's just about getting an honest look at the starting line. And now for the fun part, analyze. This is where you put on your detective hat. You take all that data you collected and you start looking for clues and patterns. Is the problem happening on a certain day, during a particular shift? You're digging deep to find the root cause. You're not just putting a Band-Aid on the symptom, you're looking for the actual disease. Once you know the why, you can move on to improve. This is where the creativity comes in. You brainstorm solutions that directly attack the root cause you just found. So if your analysis showed the mistakes were happening during shift changes, your improvement is going to be a new, better handoff process. It's targeted, not random. And finally, the last step, and this one is so important, control. You've done all this hard work to fix the problem, and the control phase is how you lock in those gains. This is where you create new checklists, retrain people, and set up dashboards to make sure that old bad habit doesn't slowly creep back in. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's see how DMAIC works in the real world. We're going to follow a student project where a team used this exact toolkit to solve our empty shelf problem. So here we are, right in the measure phase. You can see the team went out every day, physically counted the items, and compared it to what the computer said. And the data tells a story, doesn't it? On day 3, they were off by 4 items. By day 5, it was 5. This is the hard evidence that proves the process is broken. So, they've got the data. The big question is, what do they do with it? Now it's time to move from just measuring the problem to actually understanding it and figuring out a fix. So in the analyze phase, they do something called a process capability analysis. Now, you don't need to be a math whiz to get this chart. It's basically a picture that screams, this system is not working. It visually confirms that the way they're doing things now is just not capable of getting it right consistently. Okay, on to the improve phase. The team comes up with 2 main ideas. On one side, you've got manual audits. Cheaper to start, but you're counting on people to be perfect every time. On the other side, a fancy digital tracking system. Costs more money up front, but it's automated and gives you real-time data. It's a classic trade-off.
But here's what a great team does. They don't just pick one or the other. They actually blend the best parts of both ideas to create a really solid plan that's designed to last.
And here it is, their final plan. This covers both the improve and control steps. And notice, it's a full-on attack. They're doing targeted audits for the important stuff. They're testing out new technology. And, this is key, they're retraining the staff
and giving managers new reports to keep an eye on things. This is how you make a solution that actually sticks.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? DMAIC isn't just some corporate jargon for supply chain nerds. It's a powerful way of thinking. It's a repeatable framework that lets you take any messy, frustrating problem and turn it into a clear, data-driven, and lasting solution. And that really just leaves one final thought for you. What's the inventory mismatch in your own world? What's a process at work or even at home that just feels broken? Maybe a little define, measure, analyze, improve, and control could make a real difference. Thanks for watching.